দর্শক জানতে চাই শুনতে চাই আজকের পর্বে আপনাদেরকে স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি। আজ কথা বলবো ফ্রান্স ও বাংলাদেশের দ্বিপাক্ষিক সম্পর্ক ৪৫ বছর নিয়ে। আর এই বিষয়ে কথা বলতে স্টুডিওতে অতিথি হিসেবে উপস্থিত হয়েছে হার এক্সেলেন্সি সোফিয়া হবে। হ্যালো এক্সেলেন্সি।
গুড আফটারনুন।
আরও আছে দি ইকোনমিক অ্যাডভাইজার অফ দি ফ্রান্স এম্বাসি টু বাংলাদেশ, মিস্টার ফ্রান্সোয়া পেতি। হ্যালো অ্যান্ড ওয়েলকাম টু দ্য শো। Excellency, it's the 45 year of the bilateral relation between France and Bangladesh. So how long the relation is going on and how it's been?
The relation between our two countries, I would say, are very mature and very old. I can go back to the 50s, for example, which was 59 was the creation of our French alliance here in Dhaka, and a few years after in Chittagong. And these two places were very important in our cultural relationships. As for France, I've always supported the development of all sorts of arts, and we keep on doing that, of course. And today, these two centers still remain in our relationships very important places. We don't only work in the field of culture. We have very old relationships between the French Navy and the Bangladeshi Navy in the fields of hydrography. In fact, today we concentrate our efforts on support in order to have a better knowledge of the environment, because we think that having a good knowledge of your environment make it easier to create more value in a sustainable way. And in many fields we have some cooperation with BUET, with Dhaka University. Students having scholarships and going to France and to see our professors coming to Bangladesh to work with Bangladesh. So these are two important fields of our relationships. Of course, apart from trade, but my colleague can discuss further. And of course, we have many fields of cooperation because we are facing the same threats in the field of security, terrorism.
Right.
So Bangladesh is an important partner for us. An important partner in Asia, but I'm sure that there is still a large room to improve, and today their presence accounts for 360 million euros, all in infrastructure projects. So we can do more in, in the field of humanitarian action. Our NGOs are present and very active and have lots of programs developing with Bangladeshi NGOs. It's very important for us too. So I would say, simply said, these are the main fields of our cooperation.
Mr. François Petit, so as the ambassador says, a lot of other sectors we've been working together and the development is there. As you look at the trade and the economic affairs, so how far Bangladesh have achieved its economic growth in 45 years? What's your observation?
If you talk about the foreign trade and the export of Bangladesh to France and to Europe, Bangladesh is doing very well, because France is sustaining a huge deficit with Bangladesh. Bangladesh is exporting 2.4 billion euro of ready-made garments to France and more than 10 million to Europe. And we only export 200 million euro to Bangladesh. So there's a lot of room for improvement, not only for you, because Bangladesh, for Bangladesh, because Bangladesh is going to diversify in some of the sectors at some point, but for us as well. And we don't like to have such a huge trade deficit. More than 2 billion euro on a yearly basis is too much. So we are working with the ambassador on finding a way of reducing this gap, which is too big.
Right. So do you think the sector of RMG has developed in Bangladesh a lot and dramatically, and it's a big? And what the other sectors of Bangladesh business can attract Europe, especially France? Any idea?
Like fish farming, which is very promising. And a lot of things to develop, and France is very keen, very eager to transfer its know-how in this field. Leather garments, you are right, as well. Agro-food industry, that's for sure. There's a strong potential there. But I believe that the future of your country is in the service industry.
Service industry?
Yes.
Okay.
I've not been here for very long. I've been here for only 9 months. And you have, at this stage, you have very few resources locally available. And whereas the Singapore concept, the Singapore model, is based on services. So I would, this is the conclusion after 9 months. Maybe if we talk about it after 3 years, maybe I will have some other ideas. Sure. But I believe that the government should be should open the service sectors to the foreign investment, which is not the case at the moment. Okay. French foreign companies cannot hold more than 49.9% of the equity. I think we should be able to get 100%.
If you allow me, I would like to mention something which is not very well known. But if we talk about the RMG sector, of course the RMG sector developed thanks to Bangladeshi workers, Bangladeshi investors, to the government of Bangladesh, of course, and it has to be underlined. But we can say that Bangladesh also benefited from the special regime, which is everything but arms, which is reserved to Bangladesh by the European Union, which means that Bangladesh can export without any tax everything but arms. And if you consider, this is only for LDC, least developed country, but if you consider the export from outside to Europe from LDCs, 63% of these products are coming from Bangladesh, which means that in a way Europe contributed a lot, including France, to the development of Bangladesh. So as now Bangladesh is becoming a developing country, we have mature relation. As my colleague said, François, it would be very logical, and it is also important for us to have a more balanced relations and also to change the way we are working, because for the future, as a developing country, the system will be different, and this means that we have to not only stay with RMG, but see other opportunities to develop our relationships. And I really hope that Bangladesh, having a more diverse economy, we also have some opportunities for our country, our companies, to invest and be present and have more trade with Bangladesh. But this also needs to help us come and to let us come. So less less barriers for our companies to come.
On this particular point, we have to take a first break. দর্শক, আলোচনা করছিলাম বাংলাদেশ ফ্রান্সের দ্বিপাক্ষিক সম্পর্কের 45 বছর এবং ভবিষ্যৎ সম্ভাবনা নিয়ে। আলোচনার এই পর্যায়ে একটা বিরতি যাচ্ছি, সাথে থাকুন, ফিরছি একটু পর। দর্শক, আমন্ত্রণ আরও একবার জানতে চাই, শুনতে চাই। আজকের পর্বে কথা বলছিলাম ঢাকার ফরাসি রাষ্ট্রদূত এবং তার ইকোনমিক অ্যাডভাইজারের সাথে। ওয়েলকাম টু দ্য শো ওয়ান্স অ্যাগেন। অ্যাজ উই বিন ডিসকাসিং দ্যাট দেয়ার আর সাম ব্যারিয়ার্স ফর দি French investor or the businessman. Can you please specifically mention any example?
At the moment, doesn't mean that in a few months' time there will not be some other barriers, but at the moment we are working on one particular issue, which is the difficulty encountered by foreign companies, European, French especially, to transfer their dividends abroad and to transfer their benefit abroad, which is a major drawback, because when you set up a factory, when you set up a company abroad, the first thing you want to do is to be able to transfer the profit, the dividends, if you don't need to invest again in this particular country. This is a major problem for the French companies at the moment.
Did you talk to the proper authority about this?
Yes, we are talking to the Bank of Bangladesh about
what
this
did they say?
issue. They are working with us, and they are very positive, and we're trying to find a way to solve this problem. Apparently the road is clear, so I don't want to go into the detail.
Excellency, when these foreign investors of any country, from France or any country, when they see the security of the country is not stable for the investment, and they won't come. So I believe you got my point that both in your place and my place, we have the new phenomenon of the terrorism and different attacks is going on. So how we can work together to stop it?
First point regarding the companies, we have not seen a stop in the business relationships because of security issues. Of course, more measures are taken in order to deal with this issue, but we can see that the trade from Bangladesh to Europe has grown. So, of course, it is an issue here and in many other places, but it doesn't have such a negative impact. First point. Second point, how to face this threat, jihadist threat that we have in many places in the world. In my view, it's difficult to fight an ideology of killing and terror, but I think that's the best way to face this issue is to build a stronger democracy or open democracy, of course taking into consideration the importance to secure ourselves, but the more open to the world and the more integration we'll have in our country, the easier it will be to face this threat. Opening the door or giving up in front of this threat would be the worst thing to do.
Excellency, as you talked about maybe the proper democracy can solve this issue. So do you think the participation of all parties in the election can really help to find solution for this particular issue or to any issue?
Participation of political parties in the election is, I would say, the democratic life. This will not solve the terrorist issue or jihadist issue. Whoever will be in front, will come to power, will have to face this issue. But the fact to withdraw or to close our borders will not change anything and help to face this issue. We have to fight terrorism in France and outside France. We have to cooperate with our Sahelian countries, which are our partners in the Sahel region, in order to stabilize the Sahel. And this we are doing on their request. And of course, we, under the UN resolution, we are in the Middle East to fight terrorism. And we know it's a long war, but we have no other solution than eliminating this threat outside, and also inside, because inside we are facing the same security issue. We have to recognize it and deal with it, and we have to, we are under emergency rules in France for now. We've been under emergency rules for 2 years now, and we have to be very cautious. We have to protect ourselves more and more, but also to open our doors to others, to have an inclusive nation and a strong state. And
such crisis may hamper the development, if I'm not wrong?
I don't think so. Development of science, of technologies, will always go forward. And I would say on the contrary, because they want to eliminate our models, they want to eliminate our democracy, our values. The best way to react is to increase, to strengthen our models, to always work on the new developments, new technologies, and to protect our models. And it will, I would say, increase our system, the strength of our system.
Mr. Fasopeti, as you said, you've been here for only 9 months. So you've been traveling to different places, if I'm not wrong. So the communication of Bangladesh, the communication system of Bangladesh, maybe the highway, all the ways, do you think that's fit enough to hold the capacity, the growth of the trade?
I think your country is doing a fantastic job by attracting financing from all over the world. Bangladesh is the first recipient of foreign aid coming from the World Bank, from the Asian Development Bank, from the Chinese, Japan, and France, and just name it. So I think it's on the move, and of course it is essential to have a logistic infrastructure which helps to do business, to make business faster. Speed is money. So it will take some more time, of course, but I guess that Bangladesh is on the right track with the help of donors from all over the world.
And how your model of communication can help us? I mean, the communication you follow in the road system, the highway system, the expressway, maybe the deep sea port, or maybe the air cargo.
We have few strengths in France. The first one is aeronautics and airports. And we are working on of finalizing a bilateral agreement between the civil aviations, because we are very keen, very eager to transfer our know-how to help your country not to make the mistake that we have been making. The ambassador will be talking about it later on as well. We organized recently a seminar on blue economy.
Yes.
In this field as well, we have a lot of possibility to transfer technology, water, sea, whatever the sea has to offer. Railways. You know the high-speed train. France is a pioneer in railways.
Yes.
And we have a lot of know-how to transfer as well in this field. So we are very keen on transferring this technology, and we are working on it, and we do hope that it will be possible to do it in a short period of time.
Yeah. On your point, I just have a question to both of you. I've been traveled with the fastest train in the Europe, from France to Switzerland and Switzerland to France. So is that possible to bring that kind of technology in Bangladesh? Maybe it's expensive, it's pretty high dream, but do you think that's possible? That can help us? And can you help us?
I would say that Bangladesh, to develop and to face its many challenges, has to choose the best solutions from the beginning, because it will, I would say, help him make a sort of technological jump. It is very necessary. After that, it's a matter of finance, of course. It's first the choice of the country. Bangladesh is the first to know what the country wants for itself. But I would say that because I have some examples of big companies like Technip for the refinery, which is the best company, one of the best companies in the world, or other examples that I have in mind, some of them still confidential, I would not say, but our companies, if it is a fair relation, can have a mix of cooperation and business relation, because when you have a mature relation, you are not just a donor, it has to be a win-win solution.
Kind of partnership.
And I would say that I'm very confident that we can see this sort of development in Bangladesh, in this framework, within this framework.
On this particular point, I have to take the last break. দর্শক, আমরা আলোচনা করছিলাম কিভাবে ফ্রান্স বাংলাদেশকে সামনে এগিয়ে যেতে সহযোগিতা করতে পারে কমিউনিকেশন সহ সব ক্ষেত্রে। আলোচনার এই পর্যায়ে একটা বিরতির প্রয়োজন, সাথে থাকুন, ফিরছি একটু পর। দর্শক, আমন্ত্রণ আরও একবার জানতে চাই, শুনতে চাই। আজকে পর্বে কথা বলছিলাম ফ্রান্স বাংলাদেশ দ্বিপাক্ষিক সম্পর্ক এবং কিভাবে বাংলাদেশকে ভবিষ্যতে এগিয়ে যাওয়ার ক্ষেত্রে নানাভাবে ফ্রান্স সহযোগিতা করতে পারে সেই বিষয়ে। আর এই বিষয়ে কথা বলার জন্য স্টুডিওতে অতিথি হিসেবে আছে হার এক্সেলেন্সি সোফিয়া হবে এবং আছে হার ইকোনমিক অ্যাডভাইজার মিস্টার ফ্রান্সোয়া মিতে। হ্যালো অ্যান্ড বোথ অফ ইউ ওয়ান্স অ্যাগেন টু দ্য শো। As we've been talking before the break, that we have seen the Blue Economic Conference recently, and what's your experience, and what are the things you have learned, how it fruitful it was?
In France, blue economy or maritime economy is very important. You know, we have 3 coastal sites,
yes,
and it is a very important part of our economy. And we have a long experience regarding how to create good governance on this issue, how to proceed in order to implement the strategy. And with our partners, the Blue Economy Cell, we decided to organize a workshop in order to share our experience and to see which new technologies are available depending on your priorities, of course. So what was interesting, I would say, was to see how you have a real continuity between, I would say, the land and the ocean. We go to the oceans because we have, exhausted our land resources, so now turn towards the oceans, and we want to explore the oceans. But if we don't address both the land and the oceans, we will make a big mistake, because if we have wasted our land, we will never be able to
get it back
and go to the oceans, because the oceans are polluted by the human activities on land. So it was interesting to see this continuity, to see how many technologies are available in order to to explore and to exploit, but in a sustainable way, our oceans. First, to know more about the oceans with their resources, and second, how to explore them, to take the best, but in a sustainable way, because if we destroy these resources, we will have no more resources. So the discussions were very interesting. We discovered very new technologies to get power from the marine current, for example, to have a better surveillance management of the maritime resources, of the pollution, and how to create this link between land and ocean in order to protect two environments together. So it was a very interesting workshop, and we really hope, as François said, that we will now develop cooperation between the Blue Cell, Blue Economy Cell, and our institute Ifremer, and which is the equivalent of the Blue Economy Cell created in the 80s. And of course our companies, which are the owners of the technologies. So we hope that we can work together depending on the priorities of the country in order to see how to, I would say, have this technological jump.
You have any point to add on this particular issue?
No, it's a tremendous opportunity for your country. Fantastic opportunity. So we believe that you have to do it well. Governance is a key to be able to get the most out of this area. And we have know-how to transfer here as well, in renewable energy, in vessel tracking, fish exploration, oil exploration, mineral resources exploration. So all the fields that we have a long-lasting know-how, and we are very keen. Our companies are very keen to transfer it.
Yeah, and when you talk about the blue economy, it's obviously talk about the security of the maritime security. We need to have some kind of a deep sea port, and different countries are very much interested to make deep sea port in Bangladesh. Maybe India, China, Japan, Netherlands, and a lot of other countries. I haven't heard France is interested, but I'd like to know. So there are a lot of other things, and we have to accommodate all together, and simultaneously we have to work together. So
just let me tell you that some of our compatriots are also interested in that.
Okay, some of the companies from France are interested to make deep sea port. Okay, oh, that is very interesting to know.
But all these projects are very mega projects, and
so it was not only deep sea port, say deep sea port with some air facilities, some oil facilities, energy facilities. Is it like that?
The strategy, as far as I understand, the strategy of the country is to have different partners on the same mega project, because you cannot have only one company or one country being expert in all. So that's very good to try to coordinate in order to take the best of every of our partners. So, and we have some companies, of course, interested in being present in deep sea ports or other projects.
Okay, and have they approached government?
Well, they follow the process, of course. Yes.
Okay, I'd also like to know the satellite program between France and Bangladesh. How far you have reached?
I think that there was an important milestone, or there is now, but I know that the manufacture of the project in Cannes, in South France, is going on well, and I have no worry. The project, the satellite will be manufactured, I think it's in November, and then after it will be launched. But I'm optimistic and not worried about that.
Yeah, Excellency, we are almost at the end of the show, and I have one question to both of you. That what is the really big challenge for Bangladesh in the coming days? First, I'd like to hear from Mr. Francois, and then you can add your point.
Diversification.
The big challenge.
Diversification.
Okay.
99% of the export of Bangladesh to France is ready-made garments. Okay, it's too risky.
Why?
Because for some reasons tomorrow, ready-made garments made in Bangladesh is not competitive anymore. What do?
How it's not competitive?
You never know. There is a strong competition from all over the world. And maybe tomorrow Myanmar will start to be competitive. Maybe in African country will start to be competitive. And for different reasons, the European companies, for example, will prefer to, or will diversify, and they will be sourcing ready-made garments from some other countries. Nowadays, for the past few years, they have been focusing in Bangladesh because it's the best quality, it's the best price. But you know, things changing. 10 years ago, Bangladesh was not in the picture. So this is why diversification is a key, and middle income trap is another key area. It's very, very sensitive period. Management of this period will help the country to grow faster.
If I'm not wrong, that you're trying to say that in the coming 10 to 15 or in 20 or 25 years, Bangladesh, the R&D sector of Bangladesh is about to face a challenge, or the challenge is still there?
Maybe it's here already.
Okay, Excellency, what is the biggest challenge to you?
In my view, I would say demography, because even though Bangladesh has done really well in order to control demography, the projections, depending on the fertility rate, show that in the 60s, the population will be between 200, 204 and 250, depending on the fertility rate. So it is a very big issue. And the second, which is linked, second issue, the land, because when you are a developing country, you need more space to supply power to develop your industry. In the same time, you're still a country with 48% of the workers working in agriculture.
Right.
So the land will be for agriculture, for industry, for the human activities, but which of all them? And I would say the territory will be the same, but the population will be more. So, which leads to the third challenge, in my view, which will be environment. How to make sure that you will have a sustainable environment in order to open the door to this development.
Okay, thank you for sharing your views and knowledge and all those words. That was really lovely, and thank you for coming to the show. দর্শক, আমরা জানতে চাই, শুনতে চাই, আজকের মতো এখানে শেষ করছি। ফ্রান্স বাংলাদেশ সম্পর্কে এগিয়ে যাবে, তবে বাংলাদেশের জন্য কিছু চ্যালেঞ্জ আছে, সেই চ্যালেঞ্জগুলো মোকাবেলা করতে পারলে বাংলাদেশ অবশ্যই ইউরোপ সহ পুরো বিশ্বে বাংলাদেশের যে অবস্থান ধরে রেখেছে নানা ক্ষেত্রে সেটা ধরে রাখতে পারবে। দেখা হবে আগামী পর্বে।